Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Light Talks Football. And welcome to another episode of Premier League Predictions. And this is season 5, episode 28 of Premier League Predictions. And yeah, this weekend is Game Week 28. And we've got some really good games. We got the Leeds versus Man City, but the big game, the game of the weekend, is a London derby at the Emirates Stadium, kicking off at 4:30 on the first day of March 2026, and it's Arsenal in red versus Chelsea in blue. Which team will come out victorious in the London derby? Would it be red or would it be blue? We shall find out. But yeah, that's the big game, and I'm looking forward to it. Of course, Man City fans are definitely looking forward to it because they'll be hoping that Chelsea will can get at least a point in this game so that Man City have more of a chance of winning the title this season. So yeah, Man City will be looking forward to it, but they need to do the job first and beat Leeds United. And I'll get into that prediction in just a moment. But just before we get into predictions, earlier today, I did a live stream for the UEFA Champions League 1 of 16 and en route to the final, and we got some really big games. So my team Chelsea are playing PSG. You know the which is similar to the FIFA Club World Cup final in 2025, where Chelsea beat PSG by 3 goals to 0, and a few players were out, and we have a different manager, so that game is going to be interesting. But yeah, PSG versus Chelsea. We have Bordeaux Glimt against Sporting Lisbon. Now, Sporting Lisbon fan, you can be a bit confident, but you have to be a bit worried about that because Bordeaux Glimt, have got 4 wins in a row in 2026. Now, funny enough, yeah, in 2025, Bodo Glimt have not won every single game. But at the start of 2026, they beat Man City 3-1. They beat Atletico Madrid, I think it was 2-1. And then they beat Inter Milan 3-1 in the first leg and then 2-1 in the second leg to make it 5-2 in aggregate. So yeah, Bodo Glimt is such a tough team. And they're my dark horse, They really are. Because if they can beat the likes of Man City, Atletico Madrid, and Inter, the finalists for 2025, then they can definitely beat Sporting Lisbon. So whoever faces Bodo Glimt can be confident but should fear them because Boulder Glimt for me are the dark horses. Like if they would have continued to not be winning the Champions League, yeah, they're not the dark horse. But for me, they are the dark horse because Bodo Glimt this year have been really good, especially in 2026. So there we go. We've got Leverkusen versus Arsenal, Galatasaray versus Liverpool. These two will be added to the game because they've already faced each other in the league phase. The same goes for Newcastle versus Barcelona. They've already faced each other. Newcastle gave them a good game, but Barcelona won that game 2-1. We've got Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham, Atalanta versus Bayern, and finally Real Madrid versus Man City once again because these two face each other in the league phase, and these two always like to face each other in the Champions League. So it looks like they don't stop facing each other. So there we go. And of course on Google, the so far it says the 10th of March, but that will all change later today. So keep an eye out for when the games will be kicking off and what time it will start. And some games will be on the Tuesday and some games will be on the Wednesday for the first leg and for the second leg. So yeah, we've got some really good games. And in terms of the Europa League, um, because um because Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest are in it. In the Europa League, we've got Nottingham Forest at home to Midtjylland. We've got Genk versus Freiburg. We've got Stuttgart versus Porto. Bologna versus Roma. Fenerbahce versus SC Braga. Panathinaikos, who Chelsea faced last season, the Conference League versus Real Betis. And we've got Leo versus Aston Villa. That should be a good game. And we got Celta Vigo versus Olympic Lyon. So, Yeah, some really good games, but the game that is a really good one is Lille versus Aston Villa because Lille are a good team in France. They really are. So there we go. And for the Conference League, obviously because Crystal Palace are through, these games will be Crystal Palace versus AEK Lazio, who I've never heard of. Of course, Strasbourg, who Chelsea normally share with, along with Brighton, will be away to RG Kara, who I never heard of. They've Another team is Lech Poznan versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Then they've got Sigma versus Mainz, Florentina versus Wakwo Senichowa. Then you've got Sergej versus AEK Athos. Then AZ Okuma versus Sparta Power, Sansu Power versus Wayo Vocalio, then Sparta Power again. Boy, against. Okay, maybe that's for. I think that's it because there's all of them. So yeah, those are the games for Europe: the Champions League, the Conference League, and the Europa League. So there's some really good games, really good games. Yeah, I just wanted to start this video by letting you guys know all of the games for the 1 of 16 for the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League. So if your team is in it, good. But if your team is out, then better not next time. But yeah, without further ado, let's focus on the Premier predictions. As usual, make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And yeah, let's get straight into it. These are my predictions for this weekend, game week number 28. And so, one second. So yeah, the first game is late today, where it's a West Midlands derby where Wolves face Aston Villa. Now earlier on, Aston Villa beat Wolves by 1 goal to nil, and I remember in that game, Wolves were so unlucky to lose that game because they had bare chances and they dominated Villa at Villa Park. You know what I mean? So this is not going to be easy, and Villa really have to pick up their form because they are 3 points behind Man United. And looking at their form, yeah, Villa have already got one win in 4 games. And that win was in the last minute against Brighton. 2 draws and a loss. So Villa's form hasn't been that great. If you look at Wolves, I mean, they're still yet to win a game of Premier League football since that 3-0 win against West Ham, and for me they're still relegated. But you know Wolves are a difficult team to beat because they drew to Arsenal. So so that game against Wolves ain't going to be that easy. And of course Villa's last game, they drew 1-1 to Leeds, and Wolves have just lost to Crystal Palace by only a goal to nil, but they are down to 10 men. So listen, I think Villa must win this game. But I'm seeing a stat that Villa have a poor record at Molineux. In fact, let me just see if there's any stats about that one. Um, I don't think there is at the moment, but yeah, Villa have a very poor record at Wolves. So for me, yeah, I think Villa should win this game, but I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a draw because, like I said, when Villa, like Wolves were unlucky, yeah, to lose that game because they had bare chances. And even though Wolves are going to get relegated, they still want to end the season by fighting, and they did well against Arsenal, even though they were 2-0 down. And it's at Monaco as well. So I feel like this ain't going to be easy for Aston Villa. So for me, yeah, I expect Villa to win this game. But since they have a poor record at Monaco, I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I'm going to go for 1-1. I would be surprised if they beat Villa because Villa are supposed to win that game. But I wouldn't be because Wolves are a good team. They could cause teams problems. You know what I mean? So I feel like if Villa win, then Villa have to win this game because after that they're at home against Chelsea, and if they beat Chelsea, that means their chance for Champions League could still happen. But Villa have really got to pick up points, and then their game after that is away to Old Trafford, and now they have a very bad record there. So Villa have really got to pick up their form. See, as of moment in time, I'm gonna go for 1-1. I think Wolves can get something in this game. They really can. It all depends, yeah, if they can turn up. Because if they don't, and if they keep wasting chances where they did against Villa at Villa Park, then Wolves may lose another game. So they want to certainly get revenge. So yeah, it's a West Midlands derby. Wolves in Wolverhampton and Villa's in Birmingham. So that's why this game is live on TV. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1 draw. Wolves goal scorer, I'm gonna go for Wanky Chan. For Aston Villa, I'm gonna go for Morgan Rogers to score. So yeah, 1-1. Looking forward to that one. And hopefully Aston Villa drop points. Hopefully. So yeah, that's the only game on Friday. Now let's move on into Saturday's game. So there is a lunchtime kickoff, and Bournemouth are facing Sunderland. And Sunderland, boy oh boy, if you look at Sunderland, yeah, they have lost 3 games in a row, only one win in five. And those defeats, yeah, are back-to-back home defeats. First to Liverpool and then to Fulham. So the Stadium of Light is starting to like drop off a bit. But yes, and also they lost to West Ham. Like like Sunderland went from seventh from now to 12th, and they're only 1 point above Crystal Palace and 2 points above Brighton. So Sunderland are starting to really, not picking themselves up, and they're facing Bournemouth, by the way, who um who I believe got nil-nil draw against West Ham. And I think I forgot that guy's name, but I feel like that player, yeah, could have scored the goal of the season if he would have put in the back of the net. I think it might be Barry or someone else. I really can't remember. But yeah, but I mean, Bournemouth, look at them. They're now in eighth. After they've been struggling in the season and they end up 15th, they're now in eighth. They still remain unbeaten in the Premier League. In the last 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws, and they're catching up to the likes of Brentford, who are 2 points ahead of them. So there you go. So if this game was at the Stadium of Light, maybe I'll have gone for Bournemouth win, but I mean, sorry, Sunderland win. But since Sunderland's form hasn't been that great, I feel like they are going to lose another game of football. I mean, I'm pretty surprised to see this game. An earlier kickoff, because for me, yeah, I would have thought Leeds United versus Man City would be a 5:30 lunchtime kickoff. You know what I mean? Because TNT Sports put some really good games for 12:30, but it looks like that's not the case. But either way, I think Bournemouth are going to win this game, and my prediction for that game is going to be. I'm gonna go for Bournemouth win. Hmm. I'm gonna go for Bournemouth win of 2-0 because I was thinking, actually no, Sonny will score. Sonny will definitely score, but I think Bournemouth are gonna cause Sonny more problems and continue remaining unbeaten. And if I tie the stadium, it's starting to pick up form. 3 wins in a row. So yeah, Bournemouth form is starting to improve a lot. It really has. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Bournemouth win against Sunderland. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Eve Valenson and maybe I don't know who else. For Sunderland, I'm gonna go for Bowie. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Bournemouth 2-1 win because Bournemouth's form has been better than Sunderland over the last 5 games, and Bournemouth continue look. And if Bournemouth win, they'll be above Brentford. So Bournemouth place for Europe is on for them because after they had a good start, their form has been terrible, but now they're fighting for the place for Europe. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go for Bournemouth win of 2-1 in that one. So there we go. All right, the next game is Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Of course, I tell you what, Forest, yeah, I watched their game against Liverpool, and they're so unlucky, yeah, to lose that game because they dominated Liverpool. Chance after chance after chance. Tested Allison, but couldn't bring the back of the net. And by the way, yesterday, even though they lost 2-1 to Fenerbahce, that 3-0 win helped them because they're through to the next round. They're through to the one of 16. So their new manager is starting to look really good. But yeah, Forest have really got to win this game because they are 2 points above West Ham. 2 points. If West Ham win their game against Liverpool, which we get to, and Forest lose against the Brighton, they'll be in a relegation zone. So I know Forest fans will be hoping and praying for Liverpool to do something, but they need to get the job done. And if Forest win and Tottenham lose, they'll be in 16th. So for me, Forest have really got to win this game. But but so do Brighton. Of course, they did win their last game, which was against Brentford, but their home form hasn't been that good. Before that Brentford game, Brighton, in the last four games, have lost three and only drawn one. So their form hasn't been that great, and they're 14th, by the way, 14th. So it's a must win for Forest especially, but Brighton have really got to pick themselves up. Now, I don't know what to think of this game, but if but I know that Tottenham will be hoping that Forest lose and West Ham lose as well. Because if Tottenham, yeah, we'll get to them. If Tottenham lose their game, against Fulham, which it could happen, Tottenham could be in big trouble. Big trouble. So, but we'll get to the Tottenham game in just a moment. In terms of this game, I don't know what to say, but I feel like in this game screams for a draw. It screams for a draw because every time Brighton, do go 1-0 up, they just can't find a way to win. They really can't. And Forest away from home can be a bit shaky at times. So yeah, this screams for a draw. Even though I think Forest could win, I just really don't see that happening. I just really don't. But yeah, I'm just gonna go for 1-1. Goal score for Brighton, Matoma. For Nottingham Forest, Morgan Gibbs White. But yeah, it's a must-win game for Forest if they want to stay up in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1 during that one. While the next game is Burnley versus Brentford. Of course, Burnley got a 1-1 draw against my club, but for Brentford, they lost 2-0 at home to Brentford. You know what I mean? So, listen, I feel like both are going to win this game, but it ain't gonna be that easy. Cause if I look at the table, yeah, Burnley, for me are still relegated, but they're trying to, fight for their lives. They're trying to, make sure they close the gap on West Ham. But they're 6 points behind them, So for me, Burnley will get relegated, but Burnley, unbeaten the last two games got to win against Palace and drew to Chelsea. So this game for Brentford ain't going to be that easy. It really ain't. But I just feel like Brentford are going to win this game. They really are because at home, I feel like they've already got. I don't know if Burnley have got any wins at home this season. I really can't. I don't know. I really don't know. The only one I can think of is Sunderland, and that's basically it. That's the only one I think of. So there we go. But yeah, Brentford will bounce back. They will bounce back. But you know what? I want Brentford to drop points because if Brentford win and Chelsea lose, they'll be 2 points behind us. 2 points. So you know what? Burnley, I hope he can get what's on against Brentford the same way as he did against Chelsea. So, but I just feel like Brentford are going to win this game. So I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Brentford win. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I need Brentford to drop points so that they don't catch up to Chelsea. So yeah, 2-0 Brentford is gonna be my prediction for that game on a Saturday. So there we go. So yeah, 2-0. While the next game is Liverpool versus West Ham. Of course, West Ham, like I mentioned, got a 0-0 draw. Whereas for Liverpool, they just about got the 3 points against Nottingham Forest. And looking at Liverpool, yeah, um, they won two games in a row, and they're on the same points as Chelsea, and 3 points by Liverpool. So Liverpool, if they want to get Champions League, then they really got to pick themselves up because Man United keep are unbeaten and so is Chelsea. It's just that all of the teams are inconsistent, and the same goes for Villa. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Liverpool, they need to get Champions League because you cannot spend almost £500 million and end up being in Europa League. You just really can't. So with Liverpool, have got to win. Of course, West Ham as well. If you want to know which game is a must win, is West Ham. Because, like I mentioned, they could be out of the relegation zone if they beat Liverpool and Forest lose to Brighton. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I don't see West Ham winning this game, even though I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping and praying that that West Ham could could hopefully do something. They have a very poor record there. Very poor record. You know, I can't remember the last time West Ham has ever won a game at Anfield. I really can't. And by the way, the kickoff, in fact, how many? One, two, three, four. Yeah, I'll be watching all four 3 p.m. kickoff games, including Liverpool versus West Ham game. So West Ham, if you're watching this, if you can get something out of that game, I'll be very happy. But to be honest with you, I have no confidence in West Ham. They will definitely score, but they are losing. They are really are losing. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna go for Liverpool win of 3-1. Hopefully, West Ham can do Chelsea a favour and get a result at Anfield, which they've never done before. But yeah, 3-1 Liverpool. They'll just continue to win against West Ham like they always do. So yeah, 3-1. Goal scorers, I'm gonna go for Dominic Szoboszlai, Mo Salah, and Hugo Ekitike. For West Ham, their only goal scorer is gonna be Jared Bowen, and that's basically it. So yeah, 3-1 Liverpool. They'll continue to win, and that's basically it. So 3-1. The next game is Newcastle versus Everton. Now, I'm gonna go for a shock one. I'm gonna go for an Everton win because even though it's at St James Park, remember last season, Everton won that game 1-0 and Newcastle was still in the Champions League because Villa lost 2-0 away to Man United and Forest lost 1-0 to Chelsea at home. So despite Everton beating Newcastle, they were in fifth place because fifth place at that time takes you to the Champions League. You know what I mean? So for me, yeah, a lot of people will predict a Newcastle win, but Everton away from home is really good. Is a They're very good away from home. Like Hill Dixon Stadium, is really poor. Like only 4 wins out of 14. Their home form is really poor. But away from home, Everton are a really good team. They really are. So you know what, yeah? Even though I think Newcastle are going to get this win, I'm going to go for the opposite. I'm going to go for the opposite. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Everton win. I really am. A lot of people may be thinking, how the hell can you say that when it's at St. James Park? Remember, Everton beat them away from home last season, and Everton away from home is really good. They're better. Everton's away from is way better than Hill Dickinson Stadium. It really is. So if Newcastle win, I hold my hands up and I apologize. But for me, Everton on the road is really good. Really good. So I trust Everton to go away to James Park and get a similar result that they did last season. See, I'm gonna go for 1-0 Everton. They're gonna shock St. James Park like they did last season. See, I'm gonna go for 1-0. And by the way, Newcastle, in terms of where they are in the league, are in 11th place. You know, they lose that game, they could drop down to, and yeah, if Brighton, Palace, and Sunderland win their game, you know, Newcastle could be in 14th if they do lose to Everton. So this is a must-win game for Newcastle. But the fact that Everton's away form is really good, I feel like they're probably going to lose another game on James Park. See, I'm gonna go for 1-0. And the only goal scorer for them is Beto. So yeah, that's the only goal scorer. So yeah, 1-0 to Everton is gonna be my prediction for that game on Saturday. And then 5:30 p.m. kickoff is Leeds United versus Man City. Now I saw this stat. Leeds United are unbeaten at 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Yes, I know it's from the championship, but you look at the game against Liverpool, drew 3-3. I think they faced yeah, let me just have a look at Leeds United 5 p.m. kickoff record. Let me just have a look. Leeds United. 5:30. Oh, sorry. 5:30. Uh-uh. 5:30. Mm-mm. Sorry, guys. Let me just check their 5. Uh, I'm just trying to find their 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, look at this. So yeah, look at this, people. Um, So yeah, look at this. Leeds United in a Premier League 5:30 p.m. kickoff. So their first one was at home to Newcastle and they drew 0-0. And then the second 5:30 p.m. kickoff was a 3-3 draw at home to Liverpool. And then they went away to Liverpool and drew 0-0. And that's basically it, I think. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that. Yeah. So 3 games they had a 5:30 pin kickoff and they are unbeaten. And most of them have been a draw. 0-0 against Liverpool, 3-3 against Liverpool, and a 0-0 against Newcastle. So if I was a Man City fan, I will be a bit confident, but I'm gonna be a bit nervous because under the lights, Leeds United are a different team. They really are a different team. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, yeah, I think Man City will just about get a win because they did beat Leeds United, but they just about because they were 3-0 up and they nearly bottled it. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, Leeds are a difficult team. But you see, Arsenal, yeah, I would have thought they made it difficult, but they made it look easy. And Man City are in the title race with a game in hand. So I think for me, yeah, and I can't really trust Man City defense that much. So that's why I think they're going to concede. But I feel like Man City will just about nick it. They really will nick it because Pep Guardiola is, change the tactics and it makes the players look a bit better. The likes of Rodri, Haaland, Semenyo, Marmoush, Winecheck, that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game for Man City, but it'll just about get the job done. See, I'm just going to go for 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same as what the Etihad, which was 3-2. You know what I mean? But yeah, Leeds United he's unbeaten at 5:30, but I feel Man City will just break that curse. They will just break that record. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1. Goal scored for Leeds United, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. For Man City, I'm gonna go for Erling Haaland and Semenyo to score. So yeah, 2-1 to Man City. Tough game for Man City, don't get me wrong, but it'll just about get the job done. So yeah, 2-1 to Man City. And then we move on into Super Sunday's games. And then the first game is a London derby where Fulham faces Tottenham Hotspur. And I tell you what, yeah, this is going to be a tough game because if I take a look at Tottenham do not have a good record at Craven Cottage. So let me just at Cottage. Let me just have a look. So let me just see the last time Tottenham. Oops, sorry, I need to scroll up. So um let me just put my phone like this. Venue only home games. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get. Yeah, look at this. The last time, yeah, Tottenham won at Craven Cottage was 22-23 season. Ever since then, they faced each other in the EFL Cup and Fulham won 6-4 on penalties after I think it was a draw 1-1. And then under Ange, it was 3-0. And the same goes for last season. So Tottenham have so yeah, but before that, Tottenham have a very good record at Craven Cottage up until that EFL Cup. So yeah, it ain't gonna be easy for Tottenham. And Fulham, by the way, went away to the Stadium of Light, which is a difficult place to go, and won 3-1. They won 3-1. Whereas for Tottenham, they are the if you look at their form table in 2026, they're rock bottom. You know, Tottenham are still yet to win a Premier League game in 2026. In fact, let me just take a look here at Premier League 2026 form table. So yeah. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, look at this. Tottenham and Wolverhampton are still yet, yeah, they are still yet to win. Oh, their last six. Hold on. Um, oh, sorry guys, that's the wrong one. I'm just trying to. Yeah, look at this. Um, hmm. No, I'm trying to get the form table in 2026. Um, sorry guys, um the Premier League table so far in 2026. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. This is the Premier League table 2026 so far. So Spurs are rock bottom. Yeah. They are simply the worst team on form in 2026 than any other one because Burnley, Wolves, and who else is rock bottom? And West Ham, who are in where's West Ham? Who are in ninth, have got more points than any other team. You know, 3 points. 3 points so far in 2026. Whereas you look at Man United, they're the best so far. Of course, they're the likes of Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea are 2 points behind them. But Tottenham are simply the worst formed team ever in 2026 in the Premier League. And they're still yet to win. They are still yet to win. So the pressure's on Tottenham because if they do not win this game and West Ham and Forest win their game, Tottenham could be 17th and they could they be 1 point behind them? Let me have a look. So yeah, West Ham, yeah, are 4 points behind Tottenham. And if West Ham beat Liverpool, they'll be 1 point behind them. So Tottenham could be in big trouble. So Tottenham have really got to pick up wins because if I look at Tottenham's next games from now to the end of the season, it ain't easy. After that year, they've got another London derby at home to Crystal Palace. Then they go away to Anfield, and that ain't gonna be easy. Then at home to Forest, you know, the battle for survival. Then away to Sunderland, which ain't gonna be that easy, even though Sunderland's home form has been have lost 2 home form games. Brighton at home, Wolves away, which they drew 1-1. Villa away, where they lost in the FA Cup. Leeds United at home, which they can get resolved, but that ain't gonna be easy. Then Chelsea away, and then Everton at home. So they've got some tough run of games. And if all Tottenham have to do, yeah, in order to stay up, is to win the next four because they're on 29 points. And if they get 12 points, because 3 times 4 is 12, then they'll stay up. So Tottenham in the next 11 games, or sorry, 10 games, have got to win 4 of them. And if they do that, then they are safe. But if Tottenham do not get any wins from now to the end of the season, they could get relegated, you know. They could. You know, and that would be hilarious as a Chelsea fan, but as a neutral, I'll feel from my friends I speak to, the likes of Abby Summers, the likes of Deji, Kate as well. I feel sorry for them. I really do because they don't want to end up going to games in the championship. And their Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, by the way, is 62,000. And that will be the biggest stadium in the championship if they do get relegated. Because if I take a look here at the EFL, um, if I take a look at um, the biggest stadium in the championship, um, let me just have a look. Yeah, if I take a look at the capacity, the biggest one, yeah, is Sheffield Wednesday, 39,072. That is the biggest stadium, yeah, in the championship. And Tottenham Stadium is about twice as that, 62,000. You know what I mean? So, listen, I think Tottenham should win this game. But Fulham, like I mentioned, went away to Sunderland and won 3-1. And since Tottenham do not have a good record at Craven Cottage, I feel like that might happen again. That might happen again. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-0 Fulham. I feel they're gonna keep a clean sheet once again. Because in the last two games, 3-0 and 2-0. Five goals Tottenham conceded and they didn't even score. And I feel like that's gonna happen again. Now, I'm not quite sure what Ego 2 is going to do in that game. If he's going to change the tactics or stick by it. But Tottenham are in serious trouble and they really got to win. They've got to at least win 4 games in order for them to stay up. Because 40 points makes you safe, you know. And Tottenham are on 29. So they need at least 4 wins out of the next 10 games. Otherwise, they could get relegated. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Tottenham after got battered by after they got battered by Fulham. I wonder how they're gonna do against Fulham away. Sorry, after they got battered by Arsenal, I wonder how they do against Fulham away, which they don't have a good record there. You know what I mean? See, I'm gonna go 2-0 Fulham. And by the way, Fulham beat them 2-1, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So I don't know if I can't remember the last way where Fulham done the double over Tottenham, especially the Premier League. I really don't know. But they could potentially do that this season. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 Fulham. Goal scores, I'm gonna go for Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi. So yeah, 2-0 to Fulham is gonna be my prediction for that game um tomorrow. In fact, hold on, the scheduling actually might be wrong on my thing. Sorry guys. I'm just trying to know. Let me check. Brighton face Nottingham Forest on a Sunday. So yeah, mind you, so yeah, the Brighton Forest game is not on a Saturday, it's on a Sunday. Because I was thinking, I swear Forest played yesterday, but yeah, don't mind my my predictions on the screen. So yeah, Brighton Forest is on a Sunday, so do forgive me, people, do forgive me. But yeah, 2-0. Now the next game is Man United versus Crystal Palace. Of course, Man United remain unbeaten under Michael Carrick. 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 games. So, yeah, listen, I did say to you lot, yeah, that Man United will get into Champions League. They really do because they got 1 game a week. And if they bring in a better manager than Ruben Amorim, then they'll get Champions League. If Ruben Amorim was still the manager, I do not think they're going to get Champions League. But like I said, Michael Carrick's doing a really good job. 5 wins in 6, still yet to lose a game from as a Man United manager. So he's doing a really good job. Whereas for Crystal Palace, they did win yesterday, but um, and they did manage to get a 1-0 win, but that was 10 men. If Wolves didn't go down to 10 men, I don't think Palace will be winning that game. I don't think they would. You know what I mean? And of course, Palace before this season when they lost 2-1, Palace were unbeaten last 4 games. Against Man United. And Man United, it's been a long time since they've done the double over Crystal Palace. But today, I mean, sorry, but this weekend they will do it because Michael Carrick is playing some really good football, and the players are starting to win games. So for this game, even though I'm hoping that Palace can hopefully get a result against Man United at Old Trafford before that 2-1 defeat earlier this season, I think Man United will do the double and they'll get the win. They really will get the win. So for this game on Sunday, I'm going to go for 3-1 Man United win. It was 2-1 at Selhurst Park. This time it's going to be 3-1. So they will get a win. They'll they will get a win. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, Man United will get this win 3-1. Goal score for Man United. I'm going to go for Sesko because he's on a really good run of form. Cunha and Embuemo for Crystal Palace. Might go for Sarr or maybe Young for the Mateta. So there you go. That's the only goal score for Crystal Palace. But yeah, Man United's going to win this game 3-1. And I hate to say this, but they'll get Champions League. They will. And yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, 3-1 to Man United. And then the last game, the game of the week, the big one, London Derby, like I said, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Now, I know you guys are going to be saying to me, you need to back your team, this and that. Stop being too negative. People, I've got to be real. We ain't winning that game. We ain't. It's either going to be a draw or an Arsenal win. Because, listen to this stat. Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 10 games in all competitions against Chelsea. 7 wins and 3 draws. And those draws were at Stamford Bridge. 1-1. So it was started in a 2-2 against Poch, where Chelsea were 2-0 up and then we bottled it. Then 1-1, also took the lead and then Chelsea equalized on the Enzo Maresca's first season. And then this season, Chelsea were down to 10 men, but we did take the lead from a set piece and then also equalized. So yeah, 7 wins and a draw. And also, not only that, people, Arsenal, the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal in all competitions was in 22nd of August 2021, and we scored, and it was 2-0. Yeah, Lukaku scored, and then Reece James scored, and then Lukaku had another chance to score another goal, but Berleno made the save, and that was at the Emirates Stadium. That was at the Emirates Stadium. And then the last stat, yeah, Chelsea in the last 3 visits to the Emirates Stadium have not scored. The last time Chelsea scored at the Emirates Stadium in all competitions was Madueke, and that was under Lampard, the interim, when we lost 3-1. And Madueke doesn't play for Chelsea. So now the question is, who's going to score for Chelsea? It might be João Pedro, but with Arsenal's defense, I don't think he's going to be scoring. Cole Palmer, he always not misses the game against Arsenal. Esteval is out for a bit longer. Cucurella is out and Fofana is suspended. So the question is, who's going to score for Chelsea? Who's going to score? It cannot be Neto. It cannot be Garnacho. Cannot be Caicedo or Enzo. It might be Reece James because he has scored in the game where we won 2-0. And that's it. And it might be João Pedro. Is it a João Pedro or Reece James? I don't know who. And might be Cole Palmer. But I don't know who's going to score for Chelsea. I really don't. I really don't. So before you guys tell me, oh, back your team, listen, I'm not gonna say that we don't have a chance because I'll delude myself and say that we don't have a chance. I'm gonna give Chelsea a 5% chance here of winning that game, a 5%, and also a 5% chance here of getting a draw. There is a 90% chance that Arsenal are definitely winning this game because Chelsea are the underdogs and also the favourites. Arsenal are fighting for the title and Chelsea are fighting to get Champions League. And Arsenal have more chance of winning a trophy this season than Chelsea. Because Arsenal still in all 4 competitions, while Chelsea only in 2. Because we're not in the title race. We're not. So for me, I'm going to say this, people. If Chelsea score at the Emirates, and let's say we get a point, then I'll be cool with it. But if Chelsea score and don't win, I'll be surprised that we scored, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lose because you always don't beat Arsenal, um, you know, in the last 10 games. But if Chelsea do score and win that game, I'll be surprised and I'll hold my hands up and I'll apologize. Yeah? Because my heart is telling me 2-1 Chelsea. My heart is telling me 2-1 Chelsea. But my head is telling me it's going to be 1-0 Arsenal. Because in these games, it's so tight. It really is. Under Pochettino, we lost 5-0. Ever since then, 1-0, 1-0, 3-2 in the first leg and 1-0 in the second leg. So these games have been close. It really has been close. You know what I mean? But listen, Liam Messier faced Arteta twice and lost. So could he manage to get the better of Arteta? And could Liam Messier be the first Chelsea manager since Thomas Tuchel to beat Arteta and Arsenal in all competitions? Fingers crossed. But I really don't see that happening. But yeah, I hope Liam Messier can tactically outclass Arteta and every single player needs to step up. I don't want to see another red card. I don't want to see Chelsea just, just giving the ball away, making silly mistakes. Every chair needs to be on it. I'm talking to Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Robert Sanchez, João Pedro, who else? Reece James, um, Chalobah, hopefully Mamadou Sakho, because I don't want to see Tosin start. If you guys want to end Arsenal's title hopes and end their cause, all of you need to step up. All of you. And Liam Senior, if you can, hopefully you can find a way to outclass and outthought Mikel Arteta, because you need to prove to yourselves. Because these next 10 games is tough. After Arsenal, away to Villa, then at home to Newcastle, then away to Everton, then two managers clubs at Stamford Bridge. First City, then United. Then we go away to Brighton, they were home to Newcastle, they were away to Liverpool, at home to Tottenham, and they were away to Sunderland. These ain't gonna be easy games. And Chelsea, yeah, need to get Champions League. Because like I mentioned yesterday, so I didn't mention it, but I'm gonna say this right now. Chelsea have the biggest loss, yeah, in profit in English football history. Yeah. £342 million of loss. And if you convert that to euros, £407 million lost. Yeah? And Chelsea need to do two things. It's either they get Champions League so that they have our revenue increase, or we sell big players for big money. Because UEFA are still not allowing Chelsea to be selling their not accepting of Chelsea selling their hotels, the women's team, all of this and that. So Chelsea better get Champions League over the next 3 years. Because if that doesn't happen, yeah, we could be in trouble. I'm talking about points deduction, relegation. The same is happening to Man City with their 105 charges. We got 74 charges. So these owners here, for me, they need to either fix their model or they leave the club, because they're destroying Choice Football Club at this moment. And what I've been saying, yeah, we got the worst owners, yeah, in football history. People laughed at me. People said to me, "Oh, you're a fake fan. Oh, you're negative. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. You're not a proper Chelsea fan." Yeah, I hope these same people, yeah, in 3 weeks' time, in 3 years' time, if we don't get Champions League, apologize to me. Because I've been watching Chelsea, and I know these owners have been killing my club ever since they first came in. You know what I mean? You know? And if we do not get Champions League this season, it's only one Champions League football under this ownership. Only one. Only one qualification, and it's an absolute disgrace with the amount of money that we spend. And if we don't get Champions League, I can see Palmer leaving. I can see our best players leaving. The likes of Kukurea, Caicedo, Reece James, who else? Uh, 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 um, and I think that's it. Our best players could get out if we don't get Champions League this season. And do you think here that Morgan Rogers is coming to Chelsea if we don't get Champions League? Yeah? If Aston Villa get Champions League and we don't, Morgan Rogers is staying. Or he might go to Liverpool if they get Champions League. Like, we're just a joke, man. We're just a joke. So, yeah, in terms of the Arsenal game, I'm going to go for 1-0. I'm going to go for 1-0. Like, it's going to be a tight game. I'm not saying that Chelsea don't have a chance, because we do, but I just don't trust our team. I really don't. And they better prove me wrong. And they better prove the Chelsea fans wrong. Because some of them I heard saying a draw, a few saying a win, but most of the Chelsea fans that I've watched ain't confident. They really aren't. Do you know what I mean? I watched Lewis on Northside's channel and he said 1-1. I heard Matisse saying 1-1. Don saying 1-1. You know, I had VD saying 1-1. None of these Chelsea. Some people are saying a Chelsea win, but a lot of content creators, including myself, ain't confident that Chelsea are going to go to the Emirates and win. So these players are better prove me and some of the Chelsea creators wrong. They better prove that. You know what I mean? But yeah, also 1-0. And the only goal scorer for me, Victor Gyökeres, or it might be Eze, or it might be flipping Kai Havertz again, because he likes scoring against Chelsea. He really does. So yeah, 1-0 to Arsenal is going to be my prediction on a Sunday. So there we go. All right, guys. So let me go through our predictions one more time. So today's game, West Midlands Derby, I'm went for 1-1 draw between Wolves and Aston Villa. Then Saturday's games, I've gone for a 2-1 Bournemouth win against Sunderland, a 1-1 draw between Brighton versus and Nottingham Forest, then a 2-0 Brentford winning away to Burnley, then a 3-1 Liverpool win against West Ham, a 1-0 Everton win against Newcastle, and a 2-1 Man City win against Leeds United. Then Super Sunday's games, I went for a 2-0 Fulham win against Tottenham, a 3-1 Man United win against the Palace, and then last and not least, the big game of the weekend, London Derby at the Emirates Stadium. I've gone for an Arsenal 1-0 win against my club, Chelsea. And that, my people, is my prediction for game week number 28. And since that's the end of my predictions, that's the end of this video. So I'd like to appreciate and thank you guys so much for joining. And I want to big up of you that have been subscribing to my YouTube channel. I've seen some new people on my live stream. Some of them are Chelsea and some of them are United fans. So you're more than welcome. Whether you're Chelsea, Arsenal, City, or like whoever you are, you're more than welcome to this channel because Eli Talks Football is all about football, not only for Chelsea but from other teams as well. So if you guys want some football content, then Eli Talks Football is the place to be. So make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also hit the hype button so that the points could be high so that it encourage more people to watch my YouTube channel. So there we go. But yeah, people, I'm looking forward to the London Derby. Let's hope that Lima Senior can end that curse, and we'll see what happens from there. So there we go. So guys, um you know, sorry, let me say in a proper way. So yeah, guys, on behalf of myself, enjoy the rest of your games, enjoy the Premier League weekend, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and yeah, people, it's your boy Like Football, and I'm out of here. Peace.